In the Studio With is recorded at Conrad Photography in beautiful Lawrencetown, Nova Scotia.
Hey, how you doing? My name's Ian Janes, and this is my circa 1979 Yamaha SA2000. So this is about a 1979. I first started playing it, oh man, probably around 1996. My father used to buy, sell, and trade a lot of instruments and picked it up used, and I wouldn't let him let this one go. I started playing it and I fell in love with it, and when I did my first record he gifted it to me and said I could keep it and it was mine. And it's really all I've played ever since. I kind of like to think of it as my trigger, like Willie Nelson's guitar. It's my career guitar, the one that's like home to me. It's hard to pinpoint exactly what I like most about this because I'm just so comfortable with it that it's like one of the family. It is a neck through body, meaning that the neck is one piece with the body, which makes it, I don't know, I think that warms up the tone a little bit, I've heard them say. The neck, you know, it's so hard for me to describe it because it's just all that I know. But the biggest thing about it is the variety of sounds. Like I've used it on a million gigs of a million different genres, and I never look for something that I can't find on this guitar. It's got two humbuckers. You can't split them into two separate single coil pickups, but between the neck position and the bridge position and the combination of the two, rolling the tone on and off, you can get everything from major twang to warm sort of George Benson or Ed Bicker jazz tones and everything in between. So, you know, on stage I can get from sound to sound without having to mess around with changing guitars, and that's what I love about it so much. I've been playing it regularly since 1996, really my only electric, on, I don't know, countless hundreds and hundreds of gigs. And after a while the intonations started to go on it, as they do on all of them, because the crown came out of the frets and there was a lot of fret wear down low. So I took it to Doug Sampson a year or so ago, who's a great tech and repairman, and he refretted it completely and reset the intonation, and now it's total perfection. Well, this guitar has basically gone anywhere that I've gone where I was playing band gigs. I mean, I've had it around the country, I've had it down into the American South, playing with it in Memphis and Tallahassee, Florida in the early 2000s when I was involved in a documentary that shot down there. But it goes everywhere I go. You know, I've had it on all of my records. It's been on in every show I've ever done. I tried, you know, last year I tried playing a different guitar. I was doing some Telecaster playing, and I still really love the tone and the vibe of a Telecaster in the studio, and I love the clarity of it, but it just, I think I've played this guitar so long that nothing else feels quite right in my hands when I'm on stage, so I've ended up going back to this as my go-to. And so mainly now I'm just using the Tele for overdubs in the studio and as a backup on shows. Probably the most infamous thing about this guitar is the case. I've never upgraded the case. In the last few years I haven't really been flying with this much because I've been flying with my acoustic because I've been doing more traveling to write songs and gigging. But as I get back into doing more touring over the next year or two, I'm going to have to upgrade the case. I've patched it together with tuck tape, and the lid falls off, and it's becoming a running joke with everybody that I play gigs with. On my last album, Yes Man, I used this guitar probably the least of any record I've done, partially because I overdubbed and cut a lot of the initial parts in Nashville, and I didn't have this with me, so I used the Telecaster, you know, when in Rome, right? But on my new album, which will be my 5th album, which will be out later this fall, I'm playing this a lot more. Definitely for all of the solo and feature parts. I tend, again, to gravitate to my Telecaster for a lot of the rhythm parts in the studio, but when it comes to solos, it's typically always this, and that's why it's always my go-to choice for shows, because in shows I'm needing to cover the rhythm parts and be a soloist, and this just gives me the most variety of voices, and again, just gives me this comfort, homey sort of feeling because I've played it for so damn long. I think I originally started playing the semi-hollow, well, just because it was a choice, and my father always would buy, sell, and trade guitars, so there was always a lot of options to try different things. And this one just sort of stuck. I mean, I studied a lot of jazz guitar when I was younger, so, you know, players like Wes Montgomery played a 335 like this, I'm pretty sure, and Gibson one. George Benson played a full hollow body. B.B. King, of course, played a ES335 Lucille, which is a Gibson, but this is modeled after that style and just as good or better in my opinion. I've played both. again, you know, actually, and recently, in recent years, Joel Plaskett's gone to playing a semi-hollow like this on shows, just because of the width of the sound. There's this fatness to it that is really hard to replicate with a solid body guitar, which, you know, to be fair, sometimes can be problematic because it's such a fat, wide sound that it's hard to fit into a mix occasionally. But I just let the sound man deal with that. So yeah, this I mean, when you put both pickups on and keep the tone bright on that, you get this is, you know. But then if you go to the bridge pickup down here and you jack the tone, you know, you really, you know. You get like this kind of Nashville-y. Go to this neck pickup and you roll the tone off, you're right into jazz land. If you put on a little bit of slap back and stay on that bridge pickup, then you can do like a Sun Records. And you get that kind of a sound. And then again, going neck pickup with fuzz rolled off, you can get you know, like a really warm. And again, then you stick a little slap back and crank that delay up a little more, you get. And then you go to the bridge pickup with that bridge pickup and you get like, you know, Stones in. And you can get the honky tonk woman kind of. That's a lot dirtier than Keith played. You know, and so it's just amazing, and you know, the variety. Put a little tremolo on that. You know, it's sustained. Right? It keeps going forever on this guitar too. And then you get both fuzz. Take them all off, roll back the tone. You know, you're back there. Round tone with the slap back and the reverb is really nice. You turn that reverb up a little bit and you can really get this kind of cool. I use that sound a lot on my record Peace of Mind on the Thanks for stopping by.
I hope you're enjoying this In the Studio With series, and I hope you'll share the video and subscribe to the channel. If you'd like to follow Ian's adventures, I'll put his link in the description, and if you'd like to support this channel, that link will be there too. Here comes another episode of In the Studio With.